If we wish to dynamically determine the name of an Excel workbook and dynamically determine the name of the sheet, then we're going to use the same function, which is called cell. Now, if we take the Excel file name working file, and in sheet 1, we're going to put into A1 the cell function. Now, the cell function, you'll notice when you open brackets, actually can return a few bits of information. We can return the color and the columns and the contents and the format, prefix, protection, row, etc. What we're after for this particular example is the file name. Notice that there is no option in this list for the sheet name. We have to calculate that. So the file name is what we're determining. Now, there is an optional extra here for reference, and that's useful for some of the other cell values, but this one doesn't need the optional parameter of reference. It simply takes the file name, close brackets, and when we press return, we don't quite get the file name, we get the whole path. So you can see this is the whole path to Excel 2013, working files, chapter 13, Excel file name.xlsx, and then the name of the sheet. So if we actually want to determine both the file name and the sheet name, then we need to use some formulas. Before we do that, let's just explore some of the other cell options. So equals cell col, for example, does need a reference, and that reference is a cell reference. If I feed it L5, close brackets and return, you can see that it tells me that that is column 12. So L is the 12th letter in the alphabet. Quite useful to be able to determine which column you are currently in. Equals cell, open brackets, row, comma, this too needs a reference, so I could go for the same cell, L5, and return, and the value is 5. So the cell function can return both the row and the column number, which can be used inside other functions. As we've seen already, a lot of functions on their own don't seem that useful, but as you start to use them inside other functions, you can see how useful they can be. The last one that we'll look at here is cell width. And again, it needs a cell reference, so let's stay with L5. And what this does is it returns the actual width of that cell, which is currently 8. So if I widen column L, you'll notice the function does not react. I actually have to tell it to refresh. So we'll go to calculate now. And that's now 15 wide. If I hover over here to see the width, I can see it's 14.56, so that rounds up to 15. If I come back in, let's go right down to 3.44. Again, I would need to refresh, and it rounds to 3. So that's some useful options there using the cell function. But what we're trying to determine now is a dynamic reference of the sheet name. So it's currently sheet 1. That's what I would like in this cell here. I would like it to tell me the name of the sheet, so I can then use that in other formulas. Well, we know that cell file name produces the whole path, and out of that path, I can see that it puts square brackets around the actual file name. So all I need to be able to do is extract every single little character after that last square bracket, which isn't that difficult if we remember all of our functions that we've used. What about mid? So the text that I'm trying to find part of is cell file name, comma. Where do I want to start from? Well, I want to start from the first character after the square bracket. So I need to use the find function to find me the closing square bracket from the same cell reference, so from the file name, close the cell function, close the find function, add 1 on, then comma. How many characters do I need? Well, the number of characters that I need to extract is determined by the total length of the string minus where I've currently found, so where the square bracket has got to. So that's len of cell file name. Got to watch all these brackets, which is great that it's color coded. So I need to close off the cell function and then close off the len function. And then the len function needs to take away the same find value. So let's copy that and then paste that into there. So it's become quite a complicated formula, but it starts with the mid that requires 3 parameters. The first part is the actual file name address. So that's this whole lot here. I need to find where the closed bracket is. So I use a find function to find that, and then add on 1 to take me to the first character after it. And then as far as I need to go is the total length of the string, take away the number of characters that I'm up to, which is that point there again. So I use the length of the cell file name, take away the same find function, return, and I get the name of the sheet. Now, to make sure that I know that this function is working, I'm going to rename the sheet. Guys, working sheet. return to finish the naming process, and you'll see the function responds, and it now shows me the name of the sheet. So guys working sheet. So that's a dynamic way of finding out the sheet name. It's not easy and it's not straightforward, but it is logical. We're using the mid function that we've seen previously. We're using the find function that we've seen previously. We're using the len function that we've seen previously, all now mixed in with the cell that gives us the full file name and path, and we're just extracting part of the string. We do a similar extraction to get the actual file name, because you can see the file name is encompassed with a closed square bracket and an open square bracket. So that makes it logical to determine which bit of the string we need. So equals mid, again, we're dealing with the file name. So we're taking that whole string and we're going to start at the point where this open square bracket is. So I'm going to find the open square bracket from the file name, close cell function, close the find function, and then don't forget to add one on so that it moves to the E, otherwise it will drop me at the square bracket, comma. But how far do I need to go? Well, I need to go to the close bracket, but the mid function doesn't work on its place in the string, it works on the gap. So what I need to do is find out where the close bracket is and take away where the open bracket is. So we need to find close bracket in the cell file name, but then come back a character, close the cell function off, close the find character off, take away 1, and then take away the position the open square bracket is at. So let's take away find the open bracket in cell file name, close the cell, close the find, close the mid, return, and there's our file name, xl filename.xlsx. So if we were to save the file with a different name, let's do a save as xl filename underscore result, because this is the file with the results in. Save, yes to replace. Now you can see I've given it a new file name, but this is not refreshed and this is not refreshed. So I need to do the calculate sheet, and we then see the file name both in the shortened version where our formula is doing the work and in the long version where the simple cell formula does the work has then changed to the new file name. So we can dynamically grab, obtain, get hold of both the Excel file name and the Excel sheet name.